Prosecutors officially announcing murder charges against Rob Reiner's 32-year-old son, Nick, as you take a live look here at what we believe is the courthouse here in Los Angeles, California, a few hours before where we are here Eastern time of 9:41 this morning. So let's get to the charges Nick Reiner is facing. We know it could carry the death penalty there in the state of California. You see a few folks gathering outside. He was set to appear in court yesterday, but that appearance was postponed because his lawyer says that he wasn't medically cleared to be transported from jail to court. Judge Andrew Napolitano is our senior judicial analyst here on what appears to be now in the making, the very infancy stages of a high-profile murder case in Hollywood.
Yes.
Talk to us about the charges and why first degree.
You know, first-degree murder, and good morning, Sean, first-degree murder in every state in the union is murder that is planned and plotted. Second-degree murder is a homicide that is not planned and plotted. So if he showed up with a knife in his pocket when he went from the guest house where he lived to the main house where his parents lived, that would show planning and plotting. Or in the midst of the argument, that he just grabbed the steak knife from the kitchen drawer and use it. The end result is the same, but not for him, because second-degree murder is not life in prison and doesn't carry the death penalty. So why is this first-degree murder? California has a unique feature called murder with special circumstances. The special circumstances was it particularly heinous and cruel? Was more than one person killed? Was an instrument used that is normally used for a peaceful purpose, like an automobile or a steak knife? The government says the answer to all these questions is yes, and therefore they're going to charge him with first-degree murder. They have not yet decided whether or not they will seek the death penalty. Remember how the death penalty works. It's two trials before the same jury and the same judge. First trial on guilt or innocence, assuming there's guilt. Second trial on the death penalty. When they say he's not medically cleared, they mean he's not medically and mentally cleared. They can't bring him into that courtroom unless and until they decide that he understands what is going to happen in the courtroom. What will happen in the courtroom? The government will reveal the charges against him, why they say it's first degree. That'll tell us a lot about the case. We haven't seen that document yet. Then the judge will just say, you know, you are Nick Reiner, you have a lawyer here, do I have to read the charges? No. How does your client plead not guilty? Okay, next appearance January 5th or whatever.
Yeah, and to say that the prosecution is seeking, or rather as announced, first-degree murder charges, does that tell you that they feel confident in the evidence that they have?
Yes, yes. It tells them that they are certain that he is the killer, and they have a strong case that they believe that they can prove. Now, sometimes the government overcharges so that you will negotiate a plea deal to something lesser. Charge him with first-degree murder, expect him to plead guilty to a second. Instead of life, it would be 20 years, or it would be 20 years to life. The determination is made by the Bureau of Prisons beyond the 20 years. I don't think this is that kind of a case.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
I think they have a tremendous amount of evidence we don't want to talk about on a morning television show. It's rather gory, but it is there.
Yeah, but that goes to my thought of does and this is tough to say, but you look at facts, you look at evidence, you look at how things are considered. Does empathy play a part? Because he hired Alan Jackson, right? In thinking about the cases he represented, Harvey Weinstein, Karen Reed. He got Karen Reed off of murder charges, got her acquitted off of murder charges and the death of her boyfriend.
Right.
You think about, are they going to be able to play the I was an addict. I was suffering. I didn't know what I was doing at the time.
I don't know what other defense there is. I mean, I don't think there's an alibi defense. I'll be a little graphic. There was so much of his father's blood on him when they arrested him and around him at the time. It is clear that he was present at the time of the murders, and it's clear that the government is very confident that they can demonstrate that. So Alan's defense is going to have to be some sort of a diminished capacity, which would reduce first-degree murder down to some species of manslaughter.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.